going on. All right, we got to understand, do fresh look at this principle of there is no such thing as bad publicity. And I see like a great example of that would be like, for instance, Alex Jones. It's like now I'm starting to think sometimes he intentionally antagonizes you because whether you agree or you're kind of very suspicious, you're still compelled to tune in. You know what I'm saying? So he is bamming off that effect. It's just like this. And here's another effect of publicity. When you slander something so much, you're actually promoting it. It's like with the crack situation. Crack, 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 crack. Don't smoke crack cartoons in the 80s. And I never even knew crack was around until I seen the cartoons. But then all of a sudden, by the time the cartoons was out, all of a sudden, boom, like people's parents are selling all their stuff. Families are being ruined. There's gang wars and shootings and Miami cocaine cowboys, stuff like this. I wasn't there in Miami, but in a way, the bad publicity promoted the stuff. It goes faster for some reason. When people get alarmed in a heightened state, it sticks more. If someone's in the trance, that's then the kittens and balloons and clowns and ladies in long flowing dresses that speak in these hypnotic tones, you know what I'm saying, and these calming, soothing backgrounds of oceans and geoscapes of open sky in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? This is how they dazzle people, man. But in this day, there's something going on where they operate off this principle that there is no such thing as good publicity. We're going to only put out bad publicity subjects like ISIS, terrorists. Just as with the crack, they promoted it. Before they promoted it, it was nowhere. It's almost like they seed people and subconsciously they put seeds in them. They're hoping these seeds take hold where they become the character that these people faked. You know what I'm saying? You can look into 9/11, man, and all the false flag. The official story is straight bunk, and it was a ploy to get harsher surveillance, and it basically turned it into 1984. It was the initiation of 1984. I think, what was it? 1984 came 2001, and 2015 now was that 14 years later. 15 years later, and it's come to pass. We're in it now, heavy, and it's just like the ministry of truth. The false propagandists who just give you bad publicity, and promote things, and all the things that they are actually against. In a way, they're entertaining people too, and they hope that they buy into the hype and play into the energy harvesting ritual, which is your belief that it's real when it is in all actuality it is not. When you comply with their game, in a way, you're kind of submitting. You're like, you submit yourself over to their will. This is according to the black magic Crowleyan philosophy. So, what I've heard of it from other people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? With their whole philosophy of imposing your will on others through whatever means. Dazzle them with women, blackmail them, or overwhelm them with superstition. There's so many ways that you could do false acts of terror and then blame your political opposition, which is it's yourself. So you can bounce that and flip that and spin that however you want. You got to see just how they bounce and spin and flip and control the narrative, and this is one of the ways they do it. And sometimes I have to operate off that principle too, of using the bad publicity to it's kind of capitalizing off controversy. Because that's when you're at the bottom of the barrel here. That sometimes that's the only weapon you got to keep relevant. You know what I'm saying? Because things are so outlandish right now and all across the board. Any person you go to, they're going to be talking about some crazy stuff. They're going to be talking about CERN, Armageddon, World War III, microchips, AI, Skynet, uh, time travel. I mean, parallel dimensions, cities floating in the sky. Uh, there's uh, there's sun dogs and all these crazy colored skies, man, and all these strange shaped clouds, man. I mean, and the whole geopolitical climate is just insane. You got Muslims just on a rape fest. They're just out there just banging everything in the hood over there in Europe. And I mean, that's not gonna fly very much here. As soon as that starts happening, like as soon as I say by the time 20 chicks get raped, it'll be all anarchy. I mean, if there truly is, if it's real and it's not just a hoax. I mean, they use so many hoaxes now that it's almost like they're getting you desensitized. So when the real thing goes down, you'll be so used to it just being another operation that's gonna blow over that you won't react when it's and it's good strategy, because it also plays, it plays into the mindset where people just they just get deceived, man. And this is one of the ways they do it is by they constantly chicken little cry wolf us intentionally. Bad publicity. And I mean that in a way they want all this fear, man. Basically, that's what it is. They're hitting your emotions up with harsh imagery, intense imagery, foreign imagery, and it's invoking your emotions. And while you're in that panic state, they can almost control you for a minute or get you in a certain state of mind that you're more likely to react a certain way under certain circumstances. And they're kind of banking on this whole thing. And in the movie Manchurian Candidate, it's funny how they show he's being controlled by a Manchurian global corporation. But it shows through the whole movie, every scene, the radio is playing, talk radio and news is constantly playing in the background. It's constantly going, terror attack over in the Middle East, terror, yellow alert, red alert, bombs go off in Baghdad, chemical warfare, looking for biological. I mean, constantly going through the movie, and I realized that's insider code that, listen, that the mainstream public, while these real Manchurian candidates who got the hypnosis hitter or martyr programming, the mainstream public is getting indoctrinated with all these phony reports. You can look at them. The babies thrown out of incubators and the green screens in the Desert Storm where the guys say they got helmets on and gas masks. They're going, oh my God, there's bombs. And look, they're in a fucking studio, just like ISIS, cutting off people's heads. You know what I'm saying? This is the same shit. Babies out of the incubators, weapons of mass destruction, terrorists in caves, you know what I'm saying? The boogeyman just go on and on and on and on. The Jews who burned down the Ragstag building. You know what I'm saying? Or the Indians that attacked the Boston Tea Harbor tea ship. You know what I'm saying? These things do happen. So there's historical events where they like to play big games, man. Or you can look at how they orchestrated the French Revolution, and that's what they kind of got us going through right now. So, I'm not totally, I got an overview of it, but I'm not sure exactly how they worked that. You'd have to look at someone have to compile some information. Cause unless your library, well, I don't know, man, Google. But the books are always better, but it's just a big subject, but it's all tied in with bankers, the Rothschilds, all that. That's all from that. It all carries over, and when their stuff ends, the American revolutions begin, in the Civil War, all that. It's like, and then you watch them leave America, and then they go over to Europe and China, and they infect their people with that doctrine of Marx, like extreme subversive Marxism type ish of a doctrine, philosophy, and they go and export that, and then you see all these dictator communist countries pop up because it was the same people that did all these things previously It's the same. It's almost like a guy grows up. His dad passed him a playbook. He dies and he passes it to another guy. They got the playbook. So the playbook stays the same, but the people change over time. And their strategies do change. But you can still trace it back through all these ordo ab KO operations.